Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Belinda here from Visualized NZ. Now in yesterday's video I was working with a kit from the Junk Journal studio. I did give a wee flip through of it, so if you want to see a proper flip through, it's a quick flip through, then head along to yesterday's video and check it out. It's Roxy's weekly challenge video. And I had all the stuff out and I'm under time pressure to get videos done this week. So I thought I'm just going to roll on into today's video and using the kit because I really want to play with this some more. It is so pretty, beautiful, extremely useful. And I thought I'm going to have some fun with it. Why not? So I have prepared this page here. That's one of the pages out of the kit. I've trimmed the white off and I'm going to use this as my backing. So I'm going to flip it over to the white side and I'm going to collage on it with bits from the kit, and I'm going to create a little masterboard. Then we're going to chop it up into 4 journal cards and make some fun journal cards. So that's my plan. Nothing super like different or revolutionary. Just I want to play with these beautiful papers from the Junk Journal studio. So it is the Botanical Collage and Cluster Kit Yellow Add-on Kit is the one I'm using. But all the links will be in the description box as per usual. And I've got this little bit left over from yesterday's video, which I filmed today. So if I muck up what days I'm talking about, please forgive me because it's hard to keep it all straight in one's brain, particularly after the night I had last night. I did not talk about that in my video that I recorded this morning. It's now after lunch because I finished up that video, had some lunch, and now I am straight into the next one. I want one of these. I think I want this one down here just to be awkward. So yes, last night was very, very eventful. Incredibly eventful. So the weekend as a whole was eventful, so maybe I should start there. And I did talk in my Monday video, which I recorded up. See, I can't even talk. Recorded on Saturday, the video for Monday, and on Saturday there were lots of fires happening. One of them was not too far from us, and we ended up with a power cut, which only lasted about an hour. But in the process of that power cut, it upset the antenna on our roof that provides our Wi-Fi, and we didn't think about it. We just thought that the towers were still down because of, the power was still off in areas, and we thought it was to do with that. Well, no, turns out it was our own antenna that needed resetting. So we spent most of the day without internet until hubby rose from his nap and thought to check that. And sure enough, that was the issue. So he reset it and turned it off and back on again, and then we were all good to go. So there were people evacuated from the fire that was closest to us, but they were allowed back that evening into their homes, and they didn't extinguish it on Saturday, but it was okay. It had died down enough that they called off the helicopters and just had some crews on standby, and then they went back full force in the morning just to try and get down any remaining hot spots. And pretty much all the fires had that same sort of treatment. They all were under control by night time, and then the crews all went in the next day and did the, catching any last remaining problem areas and making sure it was well and truly extinguished. Now, I'm not going to have a direction for this. I'm going to put some sideways, upside down, whatever, because I don't want it to be too considered. So I'm to help me achieve that, I'm going to switch my piece of paper around as I work so that I lose, hopefully, sense of direction. So that was Saturday, quite eventful, very eventful day. And yet quiet because, you know, there was limit to what we could do without internet, TV. Luckily we had already got our lunch cooking by the time the power went off, and the residual heat in the element and the pot finished cooking it, so we, you know, we were fine with lunch. But yeah, anyway, that was Saturday. Last night, totally different ball game. I was awoken just before midnight, I think, by what was happening outside, but I really not too sure what woke me. Maybe I just needed to go visit the bathroom, don't know. But there were some really loud bangs and the sound of a running vehicle, and I was like, so I went to the bathroom and came back, and I peeked through the bedroom curtains because our bedroom is on the road front, like it looks out onto the street. I was not prepared for what I saw because I was expecting that it was certain neighbours in the street that are well known for having parties and loud vehicles running at all sorts of ungodly hours. But no, that's not what I saw. It wasn't those neighbours at all. Right opposite our house, a little bit further down, but just, you know, opposite our bedroom window, there was a fire engine in the street with its lights going, and there was an ambulance backing up the driveway of the house across the street 2 doors down, so not directly opposite us but 2 doors down. Yeah, and that was fine. Like, my hubby, disturbed by me and the lights and everything, got up and had a look, and so hubby went back to sleep. You know, lucky he went to sleep. I lay awake worrying and wondering and being disturbed by continual loud noises, bangs and crashes and car doors opening and closing. And then after a while the ambulance left, and then the fire engine was just still there with its engine running. We saw no signs of a fire, let me say that. There was no smoke, we couldn't smell any smoke, there was no hoses being run out or anything. So I don't think I'll use that right now. So it was all very dramatic, very, very dramatic, very distracting from sleep because of the noises and all that sort of stuff going on. I'm just looking for other things I want to include here. So that was fine. Then after about 10 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes, the fire engine left, and I was like, oh yay, it's all over, we can resume. And before they left, there was a whole heap more banging and crashing. They must have been putting stuff away in the fire engine or something, and slamming doors, and I don't know, it was noisy, bearing in mind it was right across the road from us. So that was fine, it went, and I was like, okay, great, it's going to be quiet now, everything's over, it's all dealt with, can get to sleep. Well, I did not fall asleep. It's a big long story, isn't it? Hope you don't mind. About 5 minutes after that, there was sudden bright lights shining through the curtain. Now we've got a double layer of curtains. So we've got thermal back curtains, and then we've got another layer of curtains that are not thermal backed, but they're actually double layered themselves. So they've got the lining, then the curtain fabric. So essentially 3 layers of curtaining at our bedroom window, and there were bright lights shining through. And so I got up and had a little peek through the side of the curtain, and there were 2 big banks of bright lights aimed directly at our house that were on the side of a vehicle, but I couldn't see the vehicle because they were bright. I couldn't see past the lights. I just could recognize that the vehicle was long and these lights were mounted on it, shining into our bedroom. Thank goodness for 3 layers of curtains, don't you think? And then proceeded a whole lot more bangs, crashes, some voices coming and going. And then while I was up peeking at the lights, there was another ambulance backing up the driveway, the same driveway. And it was like 2 ambulances and whatever this vehicle with the bright lights is. Don't know. Still don't know what vehicle it was. So yeah, there's so much going on in the space of, it was about an hour and 10 minutes from beginning to end that I am aware of. And that sat there for the rest of probably 45-50 minutes like that, with its lights glaring in. And bangs and crashes, as I said, and there was signs of more vehicles coming and going. And then I could tell when the other ambulance left, and I thought, okay, whatever's going on, maybe we're coming to an end. And then the vehicle with the bright lights was still there, and it was still there for another quite a while. More voices, more bangs and crashes. No idea what they were doing. No idea. And then finally it extinguished the lights, and there was a few more rapid door closing sounds and more closer voices, and then I heard it leave, because we're in a cul-de-sac, so they have to go up to the end of the cul-de-sac, turn around and come out. Is the easiest way for them. And so that was fine. I was like, oh yay, they're leaving. I thought, now it's over. The street went dark, and I thought, yay, can finally get back to sleep. Well, no, about 10 minutes later, or 5 minutes, I don't know, by this time I was losing track, 2 more cars went, along with other voices and more door slamming and such like. That was then the end of the scenario, and we have no idea. We don't know what's happened. It's highly unusual for our street. We've never had anything like that before, and hopefully don't again, because obviously it wasn't good. Whatever was going on wasn't good. And those other cars, they might have been police cars, they might have been an on-call doctor car. Don't know. I didn't do any more looking. It was like I was just trying to sleep, and not very successfully at all. Yeah, so I doubt, the good chance that we'll never find out what was going on. Maybe this little bit of text here, the smaller version. So I hope you don't mind. I'm just kind of collaging as I tell you my story. So, quiet descended in the street at last. Peace. Dark. All the things one wants to sleep. And then dear little Snuggles comes into the bedroom, warbles, jumps up and curls down on my hip. Which is all very sweet and adorable, but made me really super uncomfortable. And so I was awake she doesn't do that to me very often, so I didn't make her get off, despite the fact that I hadn't slept very much up until that point. But I just let her and enjoyed the time with her, and eventually she hopped off and I fell asleep. So that was my night. A tale of mystery, really. But as I said, we can only assume that whatever was going on wasn't good, because you don't usually get that sort of activity at between midnight and 1:30 in the morning. give or take, just loose times given there. I'm just building up collage, and I'm going randomly every which way, as you probably noticed, and grabbing bits out of the kits that just speak to me, or just like, yep, that will work, that's got something different going on, that'll provide some interest. Now I might change direction on this and go this way. I did have it round the other way. But I think it's going to be a beautifully cohesive looking masterboard. What else can we grab here? Might help if I bring them closer for a moment. Some things I will use as the focal layer, you know, for our journal cards. I like these little stencil looking or writing practice pieces. Yeah, so there's my tale without an end really, except that I did finally get to sleep. And it does make one curious, like, not that I want to be a, you know, rubbernecker or anything. I don't know the people in the house. It's a back section. I wouldn't be able to tell you who lives there, and I wouldn't tell you even if I knew, because, you know, privacy and all that. There's at one stage I knew the majority of people in the street, but not anymore. People have come and gone, as people do. And yeah, so you know, it just leaves us with that sort of concern, like, is everyone okay? Like, obviously not okay as they could be, where there's ambulances and things concerned, but, you know, it does make one wonder whether there was a death or what. It really does. Okay. So maybe I might have to trim this in. Just going to go there and trim it down a bit. And we can have a fun scrap to put somewhere else. Yes, one can not help but wonder. I don't imagine anyone else would be any different, that they'd be left with that wonder about what actually was transpiring. And my goodness, they could have gone about things a bit quieter, I'm sure. I'm sure all the slamming doors was not entirely necessary to helping whoever needed help. But at the same time, you know, they're focused on their job, not about waking up the rest of the neighbourhood. So, not trying to be tough on them. I realise that they're there in a, you know, bad situation to help people, and waking somebody else up is not their prime concern. And at the end of the day, it was only like just over an hour. It could have been worse. We could have had sirens, but there were no sirens. There were lights and flashing lights, but no sirens, so that was good. Otherwise, I think the whole street would have been out, standing on the side of the road, gawking. Shall I put this cute little bingo piece in? It's like a label, but we can use labels. Nothing to say we can't use labels in a collage. It's a good way to use labels, actually, because they're like mini little collage pieces ready to go once you've cut them out. And if you're after labels, then I can't recommend the Junk Journal Studio enough. She has stunning label kits, amazing label kits of every kind and colour, and just beautiful selection. You can't go wrong. That actually fits there. So let's put it there and we'll fill that wee strip with something else. And even her non-label kits, non-label specific, have labels in them. So always plenty of bang for your expenditure. Get plenty to work with. Okay, feeling like I need to inject a little bit more something, so I might use one of the wee tea cards. How about these mushrooms? Excuse me, just take a wee sip of my tea, I think. I was a little bit froggy in this morning's video, which I had yesterday, and maybe that's got more to do with not sleeping very well than anything else. Oh, now I've got the burps, thanks to the sip of my tea. You're getting all the wonderful stuff here today. Tongue-in-cheek. As I said, that was very tongue-in-cheek. So that was the kind of the highlight or the low light of my night. What else has been going on? Oh, that fit there, that fits there. Let's put it over there. I gave an update on the two mums yesterday in yesterday's video, so I feel like I've covered that adequately for the moment. Talked in yesterday's video about this week and how I am out for 2 days this week, which is putting a bit of pressure on getting some videos done, that's for sure. But what I get done will get done, and what I don't, won't. Does that sound fair enough? It probably sounds fairly logical, I would think. If you don't see it, then I didn't get it done. Ooh, what about some of these pretties? Could put one of these labels in there. I think I'm just going to go in with the scissors. Because I think that's going to be exactly the right size for that gap. So hopefully it doesn't take me too long to do the masterboard, and we actually do get to doing the journal cards. But I am literally just playing here. I'm just not too concerned about time. I'm just having fun, chatting, as you can tell, chatting quite a bit. And then not chatting at all, apparently. That's cool. I like that there. We've got another one here, but I don't want that colour. I think there's a different colour one of something similar. Just have a wee flick through here. That one. We do have some words, although I think there might be some black words. Yes, there are. And green. Maybe a green. Oh, if I can grab it out. One of these green ones. So I do apologise too that I'm doing quite a bit of cutting and tearing. I didn't have time to get things cut out from this digital. I only printed it off this morning, so and I've already recorded one video using it and straight into the next one with lunch break in between. Right, that's going to go there, but I want to fill in the underneath here because I don't want to cut off the words. So let's look for something. Oh, what about this? This fun little graphic piece here, because it's a paler colour, so it brings in a slightly different value into the collage. Just being careful with my tearing that I don't tear into one of the other elements, because that would be not the end of the world, but it would be annoying. I would find that annoying, I think. So why wasn't I more careful? Or why didn't I just cut it out instead of tearing? Because I kind of want that rough edge look in the main. That's why I'm tearing. That's not big enough to go all the way to the bottom. We can find something else to fill the gap though. Change out my glue page. So I haven't talked about my glue pages for a while. I used to keep all of my glue pages. I'd fold them in half this way or the other way and keep them for bases for ephemera. And I still do that, but not exclusively, because I was just getting too many and they were not fitting in my container anymore. And so now I keep a certain amount, and then when I've got my bin full, I discard the rest, and then when I've started emptying my bin again, then I go back to keeping them. I just simply can't keep everything, and I'm not using as many as, you know, of the glue pages, not using as many as what I create. So you have to draw the line somewhere, and I did. And so instead of folding these up and putting them away to use as bases, I now fold them, then glue on them again and get as much use out of them as I can before I bin them. And that one is already super, super sticky on that side, and then it goes in the bin. So I know a few people have asked, you know, why don't you use such and such as a base? And the answer is I do, but I just can't keep them all. My poor house would literally explode. I'm thinking I'll want a little bit more colour. One of these pretties. This one's got a little bit of pink and peach in it. I don't want to use one of the birds because I think the birds is more of a focal element, whereas this, the butterflies and the flowers are both smaller, so I'm feeling happy about using it as part of the background. I do have other pages that are meant for collage, which Michelle included in the kit, but I've double-sided them, and I don't want to use double-sided digitals for this project because I feel like that's a waste of my ink. So do I want to create a gap there? I think I'm getting a bit wary of creating too many gaps. There, that fits nicely there. Oh, I better rock on with this, otherwise we're going to run out of time to actually make our journal cards. But not too much to go, and we will be ready to chop it up. Oh, and speaking of sirens, there's sirens outside. On the main road though, not in my street. Thank goodness it's not on my street. I think we've had enough drama for a good wee while. No, I feel like they're a bit big. Oh, what about these? This one down here. Some nice pretty leaves. Oops, don't move the ruler, dear. I might just go all the way up there because they nicely line up in a row or a column. But I just want this bottom one for now anyway. So we're going shopping, hubby and I, on Friday, looking for a Belle from Beauty and the Beast. I want a dress to dress up as Belle. And oh, I don't know if I'm going to find anything suitable. I hope so. I've ordered a mask, so that should be here in a week or two. But the dress is another matter. And I was going to dye my wedding dress. I've got two wedding dresses, one from my first husband and one from my second, and I was, my current husband. I was going to dye my second one so I could get more use out of it. But it's satin, and it's a synthetic satin, so it needs to be hot dyed. And it's also way too big for me now, so I'd need to alter it, which is fine, I can do that. But the size, the volume of fabric in the dress, and it has to be hot dyed. We simply don't have a container big enough. So I've had to abandon that idea, which really gutted me, because I thought that was an elegant solution, and I would have liked to have, found another use for my dress. They're not quite big enough for that gap, so let's try something else. Yeah, so now I'm on the hunt for a yellow, I want a full elaborate dress. Am I going to find that? Well, that's the rub, isn't it? I could go to a costume hire place, but I'd really like a dress because I love dresses. And an excuse to have a dress is wonderful. Maybe a bit of this one. It's a slightly darker yellow. So I am looking to vary the values in the collage between different shades of yellow and green and patterns and all that sort of stuff, just to make it varied and interesting. Yeah, so I've looked online, I've looked at, the cheap places, the usual suspects, and either they're not very cheap, but better sizing for me, but would take a month or two to get here, and I don't have a month or two. I've got literally slightly over a month before the event. So yeah, I can't afford to wait potentially a couple of months for something to arrive. The other place where it would arrive in a couple of weeks, they are not the right sizing, and they are affordable, definitely affordable, well, good range of prices, so you can pay more or less, but none of the sizes would do me, which was really gutting, because that was probably the top of my go-to. And then anything within New Zealand, the ones that I've seen are like super expensive, like up to $300, and I'm not going to spend that on a dress. I never have, and I never will. That's not my price range. So I don't know. And I'm not that much of a seamstress. I've made one dress before, but again, I'd have to go out and buy fabric. And fabric is actually really expensive here. So I might as well pay $300 for a dress if I was going to make one. You know, I'd rather buy one for $300 because it would probably cost me $300 to make one by the time I bought the fabric and, you know, all the incidentals that you need to sew. So yeah, I'm a bit stuck. If you do have any suggestions, then feel free to let me know. You know the style of bell dress, it's full with a, you know, some sort of pretty neckline. I don't care if it's not exactly the right shape or colour. I just want something that's, you know, sort of recognisable in that vein of look. So it may be a bit of a tall ask. Hubby already has his costume sorted out. Lucky him. I think it's easier for guys. Right, something else. Let's grab something else. I think I need a bit more green, don't I? Where's my paper gone? I've buried it. There it is. Maybe put a bit of green down there. Sorry guys, I've gone quiet. I'm concentrating obviously, or something. Either that or I'm asleep. I don't know, could go either way. If you hear some snoring, I think you'll guess which way it went. Oh my gosh, wouldn't I be doing well if I actually snored on camera? My goodness, that would be one to write home about, wouldn't it? That would be so funny and so incredibly embarrassing. But you know, you're my friends. You'd forgive me. I'm sure you would. Give you a giggle all day long. Has it ever happened? I'm curious now. Has anyone ever fallen asleep while they've been doing a YouTube video? It'd be a bit random, wouldn't it? Bit hard to do if you're talking, unless you're kind of prone to sleep talking maybe. Let's just grab this wee label here. We're almost there guys, we've just got 2 small gaps to fill, and then we can chop it up, see what our cards look like, and decorate hopefully if we've got time. Put that there, so closing in this gap, and then we've got one other gap at the other end to do. It's a bit curly with all the glue stick going on. That's all right, it will flatten. Just a small piece now. This wee daisy one, I think it's daisies. Should be about the right size, I think. Oops, I just threw a usable scrap in the pottle, one of the bits of digital. I might need that, maybe. I just saw it there and thought, oh, that's a scrap, you know, a waste bit. I'll just throw it in the pottle, and then realised as it was flying in, no, it's actually a piece I was keeping hold of because I still might be able to use it or might need it. Okay, so just this gap down here, we're almost there, my friends. Almost there. Is one of these big enough? Yes, by golly it is. Gonna have fun hunting through the pile looking for fussy cut elements to use because it's all such a mess now. At the top of my desk, no semblance of order whatsoever left in the stack. I think that should do quite nicely right there, and it does. Yes, brilliant. So some pieces I tore down and some I used at their original size. So lots of options. Now I'm just wondering, there's some white edges showing where I didn't quite tear properly, whether I want to put this anywhere. It's too close to that. I feel like I want to use it just so it's not in danger of being thrown out anymore. There's a little bit extra there I want to get rid of. Let's just pop it there. Why not? Otherwise, I know it will end up being binned because I'll grab it and go and look at it and go, oh no, I'm just going to bin it because I just can't be bothered holding on to it and finding somewhere to put it. Okay, that's our masterboard done on our fun back. And I've got a bit of overhang there. So this is 8 inches, I think. Yep, 8 inches by 10 3/4 inches. So I'm not worried about making my journal cards all the same size. So I'm going to go about what I think is middle-ish length in the longer way. Just eyeball and go, yep, that's close enough, because it doesn't really matter. And then this way I'm going to go in half at 4 inches. Guillotine makes things so quick and easy. Right, we sipping my tea. How are we going on time? Oh, we're running out. Hopefully we'll have time just to whip these out. So they are a bit curly with that glue stick. They will flatten out. So we've got our little journal cards. This one to me feels better that way, and it's mainly this image here. This one, I think vertical, because I've got 2 bits here facing each other. It just feels better to me that way. This one, I'm happy with this way, and then this one I think this way, and I've got these words all fit within that one journal card, which was quite unplanned. So I am going to round the corners. These also could be pockets, but I'm making journal cards today. So quickly just gonna whip around. Oops, that one, did I not put that one in properly? No, it's just got a little chink that didn't punch properly. Might be getting too many scraps underneath maybe. And this one, which is our one vertical one. Yeah, no, I'm getting some bits that aren't punching out properly. Maybe I'm not hitting it squarely when I'm punching or something. Right, there we go. Okay, I've got about 45 minutes before I have to be out of the house is the other thing. I've got to go out twice this afternoon, and the first one is, yeah, in about 45 minutes, and I need to get myself ready before that to go out. Right, so these ones this way. Oops, no, not that way. So the text on the back is going to be upside down on some of them. Doesn't matter, it's going to be written over top of anyway. That's actually up the right way. And that one's going to be sideways, so I'm not bothered by that. It will be fine. Okay, do we want some book page? Just to provide something, you know, a little contrasty maybe. Yep, even a sewing pattern can leave you not wanting text on there, because it talks about the crotch seam. It's like, yeah, I don't know if I want the word crotch on my journal card actually. It's like, you know, there's nothing wrong with the word, but do I want the word crotch on my journal card? And I'm thinking, no, I do not. I'm just going to pop that there. So, can't even trust it. Oh, sewing pattern, eh? Sewing pattern instructions. Because it talks about parts of the anatomy that, you know, let's be real, are fine. All perfectly natural. But if you take those words and suddenly they become, you know, draw your eye because it's just a little snippet, then it just doesn't come across so well, I think. You know, just no. So that's that one. This one, do we want something? This is coffee dyed pattern instructions. That side, or we want this side? Don't know why, but I'm liking it being coming in from the right hand side at the moment. Maybe it's because I'm right-handed. Don't know. Just what's looking good. I actually think it's because it breaks up the larger sections is really what's drawing my eye to that particular composition. Right, this one I don't think I need book page. This one, dear. Oh, now there's dogs barking in the street. That was the other random thing last night when I was up or not sleeping, was there was a cow mooing. Like, there's no cows very close to where I am. And there was this cow, like, ooh. And it just went on and on and on, and it was quite distant, thankfully. Otherwise it would have just been like incredibly annoying and loud. So pity the people that were living closer to it. But it's like, in the middle of the night, why is a cow mooing so much? Like, that's not normal. So maybe it was in distress, which is not nice to think about. But there's nothing I could do. I don't even know where a cow would be that, you know, that would be making a sound this close to the township. There used to be some at the end of our street across the road when it was rural land, but it hasn't been rural land for, 15 years. So, yeah, if it was back then, I would understand where the cow sound would be coming from, but not now. Right, I am going to distress these, but I'm not going to take time right now. I will do that off camera. So now, I think just a focal image, and let's unbury, if I can, the focal images. I don't know if we're going to have time to finish all these, guys. I might just choose images and give you kind of the idea of what they're going to be like. Oh, some of those might be quite good. There's birds and butterflies, and I think there was another page of birds and things, flowers. 2 more. Oh, and mushrooms. There's mushrooms as well. Let's grab those out. Okay. This is a lovely big bird there. So I'm definitely not going to have time to fussy cut these and get them on, because we are almost out of time. Oh, I think that on the vertical one. Okay. This one, I'm thinking this lady here. So they will be in the thumbnail for the video once they're done. So you can see them there, or you could see them on Instagram completed. Or maybe I might be able to figure how to put photos at the end of the video and show you that way. So that one there. So we've got mushrooms on this one already. So I don't feel like another mushroom on it. Maybe, what about the rhododendron flower? This one. Yep, that one there. And what on this last one? Butterfly maybe? Yeah, butterfly. Do we want to bring in a bit of blue? Why not? Let's use this one with blue on it. Okay, so I'm going to cut those out and pop those on, and I may use, you know, little tickets or numbers or something to just build up. But we're out of time. So thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you guys immensely. Thanks for listening to my long tales today, the tale without end, because nobody knows what was going on. No one that I know anyway. I'm sorry we didn't quite get these completed, but I will look at a way of showing them to you, maybe at the end of the video. So I'm going to say goodbye, but just be warned that if I do find a way to add them at the end of the video, it will come after I say goodbye. So there you go, for whatever that's worth. Have a great day, my friends. Take care, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another video. I hope. See you then.